What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Observe and Proceed, where I observe and proceed to react. And today I got a group of about 4 videos that are all pretty wild. I'm going to react to all of them. The first one being a plane crash and an officer actually getting kidnapped. I know, it sounds crazy. It is. And then, there's another one where a guy's like hanging out a 75-foot pole or something and he gets saved. They're all pretty crazy. I'm going to react to all of them. But first off, I want to thank everyone that's new here, that's been subbing, that's been liking. And if you're new here, I would appreciate a sub and a like too. Just saying, I'll appreciate you too. If not, it's all good. Let's just get into the videos. The first being this Pacoima plane crash, which actually affected me because I live in the valley and I work around this area. And when this happened, it took all the power out. So everyone was stuck in traffic and late for work or whatnot. It was pretty wild. So let's get into that first.
Now at 5:30, local lawmakers now calling for answers after a wild plane crash in Pacoima. Video shows the aircraft collide with power lines during landing, sending the plane crashing into a nearby parking lot and nearly killing that pilot. Now this is
apparently there were people in the parking lot that all rushed out and pulled the pilot out, saved his life. All of them are heroes. Shout out to them. I don't know if the news is going to mention it here though, because this happened like 3 days ago. But yeah, let's keep going.
Not the first crash associated with the airport in Pacoima.
And now an airport watchdog is demanding some answers of their own, claiming that critical infrastructure upgrades were put on hold by local leaders. Sarah Welch, live in our news center tonight with more on that. Sarah?
Rick, good evening. The Whiteman Airport Coalition is pointing the finger at LA County Supervisor Lindsay Horvath. That group claims that she directed a freeze on pursuing FAA-funded capital improvements at the airport in Pacoima, even though the group says federal funding has been available for safety infrastructure and modernization right now. Now, it's not clear.
Wow. Well, first off, they have said it earlier, but they do have a lot of plane crashes there. With these similar small type of planes, there's always a plane crash like every few months. So, I mean, it's kind of wild that they didn't want to make it more, safe over there. Because there's a lot of businesses around there and like the airfield's like basically on the street, bro. It's like right there. There's a lot of wirings and everything. And yeah, these crashes happen a lot. So it's pretty weird that they wouldn't want to like remodel things for safety.
If any of those improvements would have prevented this latest crash, one member of the Los Angeles County Aviation Commission is also weighing in.
Weeds grow, runways deteriorate. Those are all safety issues. Tower upgrades are required. The county is required to maintain the building, but the operational issues within the tower are all funded by the federal government. And not being able to take those funds prohibits us from doing upgrades when necessary.
See this tower right here? I mean, it works for a small airport, but the airport, I mean, I don't even know why I'm calling it an airport. It's like a landing strip. The landing strip itself is so old, it's like it should be remodeled. That's why these crashes are happening apparently. So, I mean, it's pretty odd.
The Los Angeles Aviation Commission oversees and
right here. You see the road right here? That's San Fernando Road. And this is the landing strip. Like I said, it's like practically on the street. So these planes, they crash on the street sometimes. It's wild.
5 county airports. Lord is not speaking on behalf of the entire board. He does want the airport to remain open for a number of reasons. But the crash last Monday is raising concerns about overall safety at Whiteman.
And you wonder how the pilot just didn't get electrocuted to death right there. Like, that was quite an electrocution right there. Let's check that out again.
Reasons. But the crash last Monday is raising...
Hit the wires. Boom. The whole airplane is just sparked. That's crazy.
Concerns about overall safety at Whiteman, an airport that has seen a number of accidents in recent years. In this latest case, the pilot clipped power lines on approach. Air traffic control was aware the pilot was preparing to land, but at some point lost power. Air traffic control lost power and had no idea the plane had crashed. Listen.
Info on this?
No, I don't. What's going on? We just see like 6 fire trucks over there.
You are aware
took all the power out.
I'm sorry?
Looks like a high-wing Cessna 172 went down here.
These are where the people saved the pilot's life.
And
Shout
looks
out
like
to
the
them.
only occupant.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
24 hours ago, Supervisor Horvath released this statement stating, while the National Transportation Safety Administration conducts its investigation, I'm directing the County Department of Public Works to identify immediate actions within our authority to strengthen safety around Whiteman Airport, building on recommendations from the Community Advisory Committee. Now, the Whiteman Airport Coalition supports the supervisor's calls for answers, but is also calling her to back consistent investment in the airport to strengthen safety not only around the airport but at the airport itself by tapping into millions of dollars in federal funding that is currently available for safety upgrades. Now, we do have a call into the supervisor's office.
If it's available, it's really odd that they're not taking it. I've never heard of that.
For comment. Meantime, the 72-year-old pilot recovering from this crash is recovering as this investigation
72?
continues. Rick and Karine will send it back to you.
Holy, bro was 72 and he survived? Insane. Let's see what the comments are saying. Safety improvements are a great idea. However, I didn't hear any rationale for how any proposed safety improvements would have helped this particular crash. It would have expanded, you know, the runway or made it safer to land because as you saw, there's a bunch of wires. It's like right on the street. It would have helped a lot, actually. How about you guys stop pushing for shutting down the airport instead of getting rid of the high power lines? We already know it's supposed to be under the ground. This is the reason for a lot of fires in the area. So don't blame the pilot, blame the airport. The airport's not going anywhere anytime soon. Wait, what? Well, yeah, those power lines, bro. You got to remember that there's a lot of businesses and actually homes right there as well. People need their power. Like, it's like that all over the city. Also, maybe we should close San Fernando Road because the Mexican racing over there they're getting killed. At least one getting killed over there every week near the airport because the Mexican. What? These people cannot spell, bro. Doing street takeovers. Why don't we shut down the street over there and make the runway bigger? You know, that's actually a very busy street. It would be really stupid to shut that street down. And bro, you should take a grammar class. All right, let's go to the next video. There was a burglary gone wrong for the burglars. The cops pulled up. And you just gotta watch it.
Stop! Stop the car! Stop the car! Stop the car! I will shoot you!
A California police officer kidnapped. His body cam capturing his wild confrontation with a speeding driver who refuses to stop.
Kill us, bro! You're gonna kill us, bro! You need to stop!
Now this is more into the incident. You gotta see how it went down.
Stop!
But that fleeing driver refuses to stop. It all began a few minutes earlier with an alarm at a grocery store. A crew of thieves caught on surveillance camera backing an SUV into the store's front doors and shattering the glass. Two people then running inside. Just minutes later, Antioch police officers arrive and try to block that SUV from escaping. One of the officers opens the passenger side door.
So right here, I don't know how this happened, but I've never seen this before.
Confronting the driver. That driver hits reverse, knocking the officer inside the SUV. That's when the driver puts it in drive and hits the gas, making his escape.
I don't think he knocked him in. I think the cop got in. Because he thought, okay, he's going to get away. No, if I get in right now, he's just going to stop. But when you're dumb and you have a lot of adrenaline, you're not going to stop.
Antioch police officer in his passenger seat. This is dash cam video from the police car that was hit and shoved out of the way.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
Back inside that fleeing SUV, the officer now threatening to shoot the driver if he won't stop.
I'm warning you, I will shoot your leg! Stop! Stop the car!
Another thing right here. If he shoots him, he could face charges. Because what if he crashes after he shoots him, hits someone? You know, that's all bad too. So that's dangerous. So he's in a weird situation right here. You don't see this.
Stop the car! No! Stop.
He did shoot him.
I'll shoot you.
Moments later, the driver hits a parked car and jumps out of the SUV, taking off on foot.
He did end up hitting a car. They're lucky he hit a parked car.
5 shots fired.
That officer finally able to get out of the vehicle, and he begins searching for the wounded driver in a local neighborhood. More officers quickly swarming the scene and finding the driver's hiding place in some bushes and taking him into custody.
From the blood trail. Now, this guy was an absolute moron. And I think you can even hear him crying right here.
Yo, hands up. Keep your hands up. Do not move them until I tell you to.
Why did you do crime? And why did you even think what did you think was gonna happen when you have an officer pointing a gun inside the car and you're over here driving? At that point, if you don't want to go to prison, bro, like, I'm sorry, but like, you're gonna have to do something more crazier than that, and that would have ended up stupid too. Like, but obviously you weren't down to do that either. It just doesn't make any sense what he did. Like, I know he's stupid, but damn. He's crying now.
There at the end, you heard the driver screaming.
Thought it was all
"He
fun and
shot me,
games."
He shot me as he was being arrested. Paramedics taking that driver,
shot,
identified as 23-year-old.
he's going to jail
Dominic
for a
D'Souza,
long time.
To a local hospital for treatment of a bullet wound to the leg. He's now facing charges of kidnapping, robbery, grand theft, and assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. Multiple investigations now launched to determine whether Antioch Police Department policies and procedures were followed.
See, and now the cop is going to get investigated because he actually shot him.
Champions collide.
And caused an accident. Even though it's not his fault that the dude crashed, because he was probably going to crash anyway. There's a show called The World's Dumbest Criminal. This guy definitely qualifies. He overqualifies. Dominic was transported to the hospital for signs of stupidity. Diagnosed, not just signs. We're two kind of horrible people. He shot me, boo-hoo. You deserved it, bro. You weren't complying. And you were putting everyone's life in danger. Yeah, everyone's like, how did he think he was going to escape? What an idiot. Yeah, I think the investigation proved the officer was in the right, actually, because, like, come on, bro. He threw his whole life away for just being an idiot. Anyway, let's end it with something good. This was some good stuff right here, even though the incident itself was pretty wild, but this is a good video.
Now to an incredible rescue today in San Jose, California. A tree worker ended up dangling from his harness on a tree 75 feet in the air after suffering.
Dude is dangling. He can't even pull himself up. Like, imagine that. Now, I always thought this was a dangerous job, and obviously it is. But do you come back to work after this? I'm not. I'm quitting right there.
A medical emergency on the job, and it happened while his chainsaw was still running with power lines close by. So to break down what happened next, let's bring in CBS News 24/7 anchor Elizabeth Cook. Liz.
Yeah, it was incredible to watch this happen in real time, Jules. The whole thing took a little over an hour, and this was actually the first time CAL FIRE has ever conducted a rescue operation like this. As you said, the tree trimmer you see right there suffered some sort of medical emergency while he was cutting down this what looks like a palm tree. He was taking it down section by section. He had a medical emergency. Luckily, his harness caught him, but the chainsaw
having a seizure up there. Holy.
Still running as he was dangling from the top of that tree. And that further kind of complicated this rescue operation. As you can imagine, this man is coming in and out of consciousness right there with the chainsaw dangling above him. And that's where CAL FIRE came in. He actually came and rappelled down from a helicopter to the tree trimmer, but it wasn't easy to get to him. He had to deal with winds as well as power lines that were also in the area. Eventually, he does manage to reach that tree trimmer, and it looks like the guy was still in and out of consciousness, but you see there, he was able
middle
to
of a
click
seizure
his own
doing
harness
this. That's wild.
onto the tree trimmer. But instead of being hoisted back up into the helicopter, which we all thought was the next step, he actually decided to rappel down the tree, which was very, very dangerous, and you could say he was being really, really careful and not only securing that man to his holster, but just the act of actually
probably because they
pulling him
couldn't
down
secure the harness
with
well
him.
enough
And
to lift.
if we advance to the video, you can see they move slowly, and as they get closer to the ground, the rescuer actually unclips the tree trimmer's harness and then was able to carry him the rest of the way down to the ground. You see there, that's kind of at the beginning of the rescue operation, where he's not only holding on to that harness that's attached to the helicopter, but also attaching to the man that he was trying to rescue. That's the scene there on the ground where they eventually get the tree trimmer to the ground. He's able to get medical attention. You can see a crew was waiting for him at the bottom of the ground. But this whole thing was incredible to watch, and so many things could have gone wrong, but luckily none of them did, and he was safely
the timing
able
of
to get
him.
him down.
Our hearts go
The
out.
timing of him having a seizure during his job is insane. Wow.
To that worker,
Yes.
and hats off to the crews who did that amazing rescue, and
Amazing.
we'll certainly follow up on his condition and make sure that he's hopefully in good hands in the hospital and getting checked over.
Apparently he is in the hospital and he's getting good care, but I'd like to also talk to that rescue worker.
Shout out to
who's
him. But damn, bro, I'm not doing this job if this after this. He better not be allowed back. And I thought I was having a bad day. To be bent back like that was horrifying. Hope he will be okay. I mean, hopefully he's okay. Prayers to him. Yeah. But as you can see, stuff happens every day. So keep it locked. There will be more videos. I promise you that. I'm out.